Don Show vlog that we post on my YouTube channel every day at Todd Jeffries. You got to check that out. We'd like to get to a bunch of stuff, and we want you to join us. We got a couple of calls on hold that we're holding over from the previous half hour that want to weigh in on some serious issues. One is the governor is set to sign a bill today or this week that could end and prohibit relationships with government entities, meaning the city or the school district, partnering with Planned Parenthood, which the AISD did partner with Planned Parenthood to write their most recent sex education curriculum. It's very controversial for a lot of folks. We heard from Patrick Osborne, and we have full details on the front page of our website at newsradioklbj.com. The big thing is parents can opt out. Let's be very clear. You don't have to force your kid to go to this kind of education. But Carol is in Austin and wants to add 1 point to the conversation. Carol, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I wanted to share with everybody the reason Planned Parenthood wants to be in the schools, because I heard y'all ask that question earlier. But it's not just because they want to teach how to engage in sex and at a young age. It has to do with advocacy. It has to do with making children spokespeople and to spread their message and agenda that they have, and that's extremely important for Planned Parenthood. And if you go to their websites and all of their programs, you'll see that. You'll see that they have programs and how to become advocates for their belief in their system.
But you're not advocating that, are you?
No, absolutely not. Do parents really want their kids to become advocates? Is that what school's all about?
Yeah,
I mean,
not.
And it doesn't even matter what population you belong to. Keeping our kids from having, keeping them healthy, it doesn't matter what kind of kid it is, whether it's a kid from the SOGI or LGBT community or not. Having sex as a child is not safe.
Whenever you saw that information, you say that Planned Parenthood is trying to get them to further their beliefs. What are those beliefs that you're concerned about?
Well, the children have sexual rights, because that community as well believes that children should be engaged in safe sex. And we're talking minors. We're not talking about kids that are 17, 18, if you want to consider those kids, but younger than that. They even want to...
Hang on a second. Planned Parenthood advocates sex among elementary school kids. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying among elementary school kids, but I can tell you that that community wants to abolish the age of consent laws. And that would mean a child that's even as young as 10 years old.
Yeah. I got you, Carol. I hear what you're saying. I'm not a supporter of Planned Parenthood at all, but I'm not quite sure that they're advocating getting rid of the age requirements for consent. I've never heard Planned Parenthood say that.
No, you'd have to go to their websites and you'd have to see on their links and read that kind of thing, because basically in their programs and in their curriculum, they do stress that only a child really knows when they're ready to have pleasure and to have engage in sexual activity.
All right, I'll check it out, Carol. I'll have to take your word for it, but I will go and look for that material. Thank you very much.
But it is an organization that does kind of depend on younger people, or anybody for that matter, having sex. That to justify their existence. So it is kind of an odd pairing, an inappropriate pairing between schools and Planned Parenthood.
Jump in here at 512-836-0590. Also, Governor Greg Abbott is set to sign 3 school safety bills into law today. It was one of his top emergency items leading into the legislative session.
When we talked about adding staff.
Hang on a second. Let's find the governor. Where'd he go? Here he is.
No student should be afraid to go to school. No parent should be fearful when dropping their child off at school. Texas must act now to make our schools safer.
Yeah, now the bill strengthens emergency preparedness, increase mental health training for educators, and removes a cap on the number of school marshals in public schools. This was all inspired by the tragic shooting at Santa Fe High School.
Yeah, well, I have to agree that should not be of any concern. It's not anything that we ever experienced in our childhood, that's for sure. It never even crossed my mind, never even crossed my parents' mind. I'm sure that he might not be safe at school today. So
yeah, it's a different time. But what do you think about these 3 areas that these bills? You support all of that?
Yeah, I do.
Especially the increased mental health training for educators.
Absolutely. Yes. It's That's foremost, first and foremost.
More school marshals in our schools, strengthen emergency preparedness. Some of
Yes.
that could be metal detectors if one
Yes.
school particularly wants that.
All of it.
Basically, the state is going to pump more money per child into public education to help fund these kind of things. And so he's set to sign all of this today.
Good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately necessary, yes.
Yeah. It's going to lead to more counselors that have training in mental health care to identify those youngsters that may be going through some issues and catch them, intervene before they decide to lash out against our communities.
Yeah, it needs to be a lot more than just a phase they're going through and, teenage angst. They're going to have to pay much closer attention. And maybe it might be awkward at times. Maybe it might border on what some people might consider inappropriate, but you know what, and maybe hurting some feelings. But that's the ugly game we're going to have to play.
Now, also today, this is a very important issue. If you own a business or you think the city of Austin has a homeless problem, today the Austin City Council, led by Councilmember Ann Kitchen, will be among those introducing a measure to greenlight a new housing-focused shelter pilot program. This is the idea of creating a shelter in South Central Austin. Don't exactly know where it's going to be. We'll find out today during the council meeting. She says up until now, most of the homeless programs were focused in the downtown core area of the city. And as we all know, homeless people live all across this city.
So we both want to see what works in other parts of the city, and we also want to see how housing-focused shelter works.
Now, she says that staff will reveal where they think a South Austin shelter should be established or built. Kitchen's hopes to open it up by the fall of this year.
And there are going to be challenges, big challenges, because no one gets excited about the possibility of a homeless shelter right next to him. But, yeah, I can only think that this is going to be – they're talking about South Central Austin. I can only think that this is going to be somewhere near the Ben White area.
Do you think that this could lure more homeless people to town? A lot of people feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah, it will.
It will.
Sure it will.
Do you support the idea of adding a second shelter?
Well, I support the idea of getting them out from the overpasses and getting them off the street and getting rid of the trash and the horrible problem it's become, and them being a little bit I'm not saying this because I don't want to have to think about it, put them away so I don't have to look about it, think about it, but the fact is we know what a bad problem it is, how out in the open it is. So yeah, I'm for them having housing other than under the overpasses, but I don't get excited about it when I hear about the city running it because the city does not have a good track record.
Yeah. Well, as you know, the Texas Department of Transportation, they had been responsible for cleaning up those homeless camps under bridges, power washing, removing the trash, and typically what happens, the state comes in and says, hey, we're going to be cleaning this area tomorrow. The homeless folks pack up and move away. The state comes in and cleans it, and then they just come right back.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just a few weeks ago, the state said, we're not doing that anymore. We're not going to spend money to do that anymore. You have to do it, talking to the city.
And it should be the city.
So the city has now taken on that responsibility, and they're talking about hiring staff to do it. They're even talking about putting trash dumpsters or trash cans near where these homeless camps have been popping up.
Sure.
As a way to, help make it clean and a little more sanitary.
And I think those dumpsters near those homeless camps will do nothing but make the homeless camps bigger. It's like everything. It's just damned if you do, damned if you don't for every situation. Okay, we're going to have public bathrooms. Okay, well we don't want people peeing and pooping on the street. But the problem is with the public bathrooms now, that's going to be even more draw for the homeless.
Well, Kathy Tovo brought up the idea of dumpsters or trash cans near some of these encampments.
Yeah.
Listen to what she had to say.
When we talked about adding staff, that we wanted to amplify the kinds of existing programming, not replace that good work that we were getting through partnerships with local universities. And then just mention that now that we have taken on, I think we talked about this during the conversation we had about TxDOT, about our absorbing the costs of cleanups on TxDOT land. We talked about the need to provide trash cans and recycling bins.
What? Trash cans and recycling bins?
Yeah.
The blue can and the green can?
I guess so. We're going to have some environmental.
Are you telling me the homeless community is going to sort their trash?
They're going to have a They're going to have
that's
a
a paper
recycling
cup.
program.
You got to put that in here. The plastic goes here.
Hey,
come on, you got to separate that stuff.
You can pee on the street, but do not put your paper in the regular trash.
Those areas. Now that we're taking on the responsibility of cleaning, we also will have permission from TxDOT to service those areas in a way that will keep them more sanitary. So I don't, in going past, in driving around town, I'm not seeing that happening. So
Yeah, there you go. That's Kathy Tovo at the city council meeting just yesterday.
Now, I will tell you that I don't see these homeless cities, let's call them what they are. They're cities. They're not camps. They're cities. I'm not seeing any cleanup. I'm not seeing anything improving anywhere. All I'm seeing is the whole situation getting worse, not only at the camps themselves, but all the surrounding areas where all the trash is literally blowing out onto the street and into the
we know,
encroaching on other businesses.
we keep talking about the problem, don't we?
No, I know.
We know the problem.
Well, but you know what? There are a lot of people that listen to this and listen to the show and hearing us bitch and moan about it, but have never really seen them themselves. They haven't been to the parts of town we're talking about. You got to go see it. You got to really see it to appreciate what we're talking about.
I mean, I understand. I haven't seen the one you're talking. I've seen pictures, of course.
Right.
I have an idea of what everybody is concerned about. They don't want people begging for cash at intersections, sleeping on sidewalks, camping in the woods, and leaving debris and things like that. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it at all. But let's be very clear. The city will always have a homeless problem. Always. You will never, ever, ever, ever be completely homeless free in the city of Austin.
No, and I think that goes for any big city out there.
So you got to decide, how much money do you want to invest to maintain the current homeless community, right? Keep it clean, keep it sanitary.
Keep it propped up.
That sort of thing.
Right.
But everything you do to do that is going to lure more make it big. It seems the more you throw at it, the bigger the problem gets.
You can't win.
But you can't win.
No.
You can't win. Well, you can win if you allow Alan Graham at Mobile Loaves and Fishes to handle it.
There you go.
Damon checking in from the Coshada Casino at the Y at Oak Hill.
I love that place.
Hey,
Beautiful place. Yes, sir.
Hey, I drive past several of those enormous homeless camps down Ben White every day, and I used to work closely with the homeless population downtown. And I'm going to sound like the angry old man. The city of Austin is teaching homeless people how to poop and pee responsibly in public. They're teaching them how to set fires, how to make a fire in public. They're littering, they're dumping trash, and you used to go to jail for making a fire. You used to go to jail for pooping and peeing in public. And I just wanted to point out to everybody, these are not people who lost their job and they're temporarily outdoors. These men and women don't want to follow rules. They don't want to be responsible. They don't want to have any kind of modern life that we have. And that's why they choose to live in these homeless camps. And
I would think that there is a percentage of them that have chosen a lifestyle, but a majority of them have mental health issues and can't choose a lifestyle. You say you worked with the homeless community. What did you do?
No, I worked at a gas station beer store downtown, and they line up every morning for 9 o'clock to get their drink. But I would talk to them. I try to make sure they weren't a problem. But they all come from somewhere else. I've never met a homeless person who's from Austin or Travis County or even Texas.
Yeah,
they all come from up north because we've got great weather and we've got great services. And I think we're a little too much on the compassionate side because the city is training them how to break the law on a regular basis. I mean, you don't start.
Let me ask you a question, Damon. You're a smart man. What do you want to do about it?
What I'd like to see is a way to make us not so homeless friendly, because it's a lot of money. But there's also, I've had homeless people come wandering up through the woods behind my house and into my yard more than once.
Okay, so you say we should become less homeless friendly. What does that mean? What do you want to stop doing? What do you want to eliminate?
Okay, when they litter, they get ticketed or go to jail. When they start a fire in public, they get taken to jail.
And that's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. It's a waste of time because they get a citation that they never pay. It turns into a warrant for their arrest, and the next time they poop in public, they get arrested and they get taken to jail. That's costing you money as it is. That costs you even more.
It's costing me money, but it makes it more affable for them to maybe move a little further down the road.
That's a good point.
Get out of Austin.
That's a good point.
We're spending millions. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, $23 million last year on the homeless, and they did the population count, and they said there's 2,200 homeless, and I thought the number I heard was $23 million. That you could buy them a first-class ticket to anywhere in the United States and come off cheaper. than what we're doing.
Right now, to various programs, the city of Austin taxpayers are pumping about $38 million a year into various homeless programs. Ann Howard from the group called ECHO, that's Ending Chronic Homelessness, she would like an additional $40 million a year. So we're approaching $80 million a year that the city is willing to spend, and it may lure more to town.
I'm trying to put food on the table, pay my ever-increasing taxes, and send my kids to school. And because I'm responsible and hardworking, I'm going to be taxed extra for the people who are not responsible and hardworking. And that's the part that really rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
The person who suddenly lost their job or laid off and they're having trouble, I'm okay with helping those folks.
Absolutely.
But the ones who want to drink beer, smoke cigarettes, panhandle all day long as a way of life, I don't want to help them. I want to run them out of town.
I got you.
Really cold and insensitive.
Yeah,
But
I got you. But if they have some mental health issues, you want to help
well,
them?
I'm willing. I'd rather spend that money on mental health.
Yeah.
Not cleaning up the poop and the pee and they cleaned up one of those sites by my house, and it's not just because it's near my house, but they used a skid steer to clean everything up. They used a little tract, like a little miniature dozer.
Yeah.
To scoop everything up and put in the dumpsters, and there were probably 30 or 40. They look like state workers, not city workers, but that's an enormous cost. But if you and I were to pile trash in our front yard like that, we would go to jail. We would be fined by the city. All manner of things would happen to the responsible person.
All right, I got you.
If you are the ultimate irresponsibility, it's suddenly you start getting a payday.
All right, Damon, I appreciate you, man. So he says the city should become less homeless friendly.
I just think there's a way to become less homeless friendly and be humane as far as, it just needs to be a situation where you either go here to this shelter if you're homeless, or if it's mental illness, then you go here, and we're able to support that for a place for people with mental illness that the reality is we have to take care of them for the rest of their lives. It's just simply you either go here, you're going to have to go here or here. You cannot sleep here.
Yeah.
You cannot do that. If that's your choice to sleep here under this overpass, I'm afraid you're going to have to go out of town. You're going to have to leave by whatever means you do that.
The homeless problem is not going to go away.
I know.
And you're going to spend the money on the homeless some way.
I know.
Whether it's citation and incarceration and trips to the emergency room, that's top dollar expenses. Or you're going to pump money into homeless-friendly programs to take care of these people.
Yes. And
so we got to decide, who are we going to be?
That's right, and I'm for the latter. Yeah, it's never going to go away. It's something we're going to be with and paying for. So how about something that does take care of them, helps support them, helps them get out of homelessness versus paying for a hose to squirt the pee with?
Well, the thing is, a lot of these folks, they can't be helped. They can't be put in a home and be able to pay their bills. They literally don't know how to take care of themselves.
There are people
in some
that
cases.
cannot live in society.
They have that much of a mental health issue. They just can't function. And you know what? Some of them never will.
No.
And we got to determine, how are we going to take care of these people?
There's going to have to be a place that they go where we support them. We take care of them, and they get the help they need, period.
The issue is this growing stigma in the mental health community. Right?
Yes.
Right? Everybody's got an uncle that's mentally ill. Oh, he lives on the streets. We ignore it. We forgot about him. Mm-hmm. And now he's everybody else's responsibility.
Yeah.
But it's not going to go away. The problem's always going to be here. Willie on the Todd Don show. Good morning, Willie.
Hey, good morning.
This is a
very interesting discussion. My comment was only that it's not particularly helpful, but it's to point out that the politicians that talk about this never define what the objective is. I heard a clip earlier on your show here. One of the city council members, I think it was, saying, we need to do what works, but they never define what that is. I mean, are we trying to get rid of the homeless people? Are we trying to shelter them all? Are we trying, which way? What I think they're afraid to state their real objectives, because I think some of them really do want to throw a whole bunch of money and make the environment more friendly for homeless people. And I agree with the previous caller to the contrary that, we really should be discouraging this.
Yeah.
And
I think you're absolutely right.
To eliminate it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We had the mayor in here in the studio Monday talking about that, and I asked him, I said, will we ever solve the homeless crisis? And the answer is no. So what is success? When you pump $10 million into a homeless program, what is success? Some people listening would say success is no more homeless people. Some people would say success is, well, we got 3 people into supportive housing and they're able to survive now.
Right.
Some people see that as success.
Yeah.
Some people see success as, well, for this group of homeless people, we were able to feed them for 6 months. Some people see that as success.
Yeah.
Every homeless person has a different story to tell in a different situation. The single mom that lost her job and has a child and sleeping in a parking lot in Walmart, those are the people that we can help immediately. And I think everybody listening doesn't mind helping those people, right?
Right.
Very few people want to help that drunk, the alcoholic, the drug addict that looks disheveled begging for cash at the street corner. Very few people want to help that person because they have a mental health issue, and that's a little embarrassing. That's inconvenient, you know?
Well, it just needs to be a situation where you cannot live outside. You cannot live outside in the city of Austin.
Why not?
You can go
Why not?
here.
Why not?
You
Why
can't-
is that a crime to live outside?
Because it's...
See? We're a free country.
I understand that.
They're free people. We are free people. We can live outside if we want to.
We can't win this, can we?
You can't. You can't win it, man. The only thing you can do is restrict where they can.
I thought by the end of the week we would have solved this, and every time we think it's like, but there's always a but, and it's like, yeah, never mind.
John on I-35, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing? Well,
fine.
one of the things I just want to compliment you. You guys do have a good grasp on the fact that there's not one homogeneous population of homeless people. There's different categories, and that's great. That's a good start, and I wish that Austin would voice that. But anyhow, I came from a city in Massachusetts, Springfield, Mass. Back in the 80s, they had a similar problem, and they did a study on it, and they discovered that most of the problems were being caused by the drug and alcohol addicts. But in addition to just being obnoxious and being on the street and panhandling, they also discovered that some of the mentally ill people were receiving disability payments. And the alcohol and drug addicts, found out about it somehow and would wait on that particular day of the month. They would, set upon these people and take their money away from them.
Yeah. That's a big problem, yeah.
Go ahead. So they banned panhandling, and that solved a whole host of problems. One of the things they discovered was that a lot of the drug and alcohol addicts actually had homes that they could go to if they were clean and sober. So that was a revelation. They just never considered that.
Yeah.
They also did have a detox hospital in Springfield, Mass. And, once they banned panhandling, a lot of those people did show up there and they got clean and sober. The same thing happened in New York City under Giuliani. He banned panhandling, and look what it did for that city at that time. Of course,
all of these ordinances, all of these programs do help some people. Some people get off drugs. Some people get off alcohol. Some people find a place to stay. Not all, but some. And people listening want it to be 100% successful, each one of these programs, and that's just not possible. It is 9:26. You can jump in here at 512-836-0590.
The Todd and Don Show.
Listen, it's not too late to check out the premier land sale at Cloudwood Ranch. This is near Cedar Park. It's near Liberty Hill. 5 beautiful acres for $79,000, 7 acres for only $99,000. Just imagine being that close in to the core of this community and living on that beautiful hill country property. Yeah, Cloudwood Ranch, just 15 minutes from Liberty Hill and Cedar Park. Cloudwood Ranch is now offering Phase 2. 10 new tracks on crystal clear Mill Creek and several more amazing hill country views with majestic hardwood trees. You could build now, build later, or choose your own builder. Phase 1 selling fast, and you don't want to miss out to be first in line for the second and final phase. 5 acres, pristine hill country property for just $79,000 or 7 acres for $99,000. Schedule your visit. They'll give you a tour on a golf course so that you can pick the exact property you want to live on. Call them at 512-755-0395. That's 755-0395, or you can visit them online. It's cloudwoodranch.com. That's cloudwoodranch.com.
Brought to you by the City of Austin